Back in October of 2025, I had the opportunity to play Little Nightmares for the first time over on my Twitch channel, as it was a highly requested game amongst my friends for me to play for Halloween. It was good timing as well, since the enhanced edition of the game had just released. The game was a pleasure, even if it was a little janky at times, and so was its DLC campaign, Secrets of the Maw. My playthroughs of both of those are up on this channel if you'd like to watch them. Even though the game is pretty short, I was surprised to see that there were some quite specific achievements to go for, so I figured that Little Nightmares would benefit from being featured on the show. So, here we are. Welcome to How to Complete, a show where I break down exactly how to 100% complete a game efficiently, no matter which version you play, while avoiding any pitfalls along the way. In today's episode, I'll be showing you how to unlock all 22 achievements in Little Nightmares and its DLC content. Little Nightmares was originally released back in 2017 for most major platforms, with a Switch version following a year later. For a long time, this was the only version of the game, but recently, in October of 2025, the game received an enhanced edition, which mainly just serves as a visual/performance upgrade. If you pre-ordered Little Nightmares 3, or own the original Little Nightmares already, you would receive this enhanced version for free. Now that the enhanced edition is out, it seems that if you want to buy Little Nightmares 1 nowadays, you will automatically get both the original and enhanced edition, or at the very least, the enhanced edition is the only one that's available to purchase. If you want the DLC chapters as well, make sure to get the complete edition of Little Nightmares and save yourself some cash. For my first time playing the game, I played the enhanced edition of Little Nightmares on Steam. There is no difference between this version and the original version of Little Nightmares when it comes to content and achievements. The requirements are the exact same, but they do have their own separate achievement lists, so keep that in mind. Little Nightmares has 22 achievements to unlock, 13 in the main campaign and 9 in the DLC campaign. For the main story, you will have to complete all 5 chapters, light 20 lanterns or candles with your lighter, find and hug all 13 gnomes, break all 10 geisha statues, complete a deathless speed run of the story, and take care of a few more miscellaneous tasks here and there. For the Secrets of the Maw DLC, all you have to do is complete all 3 chapters, find and open all 15 collectible Flotsam bottles, 5 in each chapter, and complete 1 secret task in each chapter. For the main campaign, the best strategy would be to do 1 playthrough to get every collectible and achievement that is not the speedrun. This will give you ample practice for the second playthrough for unlocking the speedrun achievement. I think it could theoretically be possible to do everything in 1 playthrough, but the problem is that the speedrun has to be done in under an hour and without dying, which would be extremely difficult to do while getting every collectible, especially if you've never played the game before. I would still recommend doing 2 playthroughs, as the game is already really short, so you're not going to be wasting a whole lot of time. Plus, I always think it's best to go into a game experience blind when playing it for the first time. The first 5 achievements in the main campaign are story-related and unmissable, unlocked for completing each of the 5 chapters. The next 3 are for getting all of the collectibles in the main campaign. The 13 gnomes and 10 geisha statues can all be tracked in the chapter select menu, so you don't have to worry about missing them. But not only do you have to find these collectibles, you will also have to hug the 13 gnomes to get the Little Lost Things achievement, and break the 10 geisha statues to get the Rascal achievement. Performing these actions is what informs the game that you've actually obtained these collectibles, so make sure that you do that when you find them. What can't be tracked, unfortunately, are the 20 lanterns and candles, so you'll have to mentally keep track of those on your own. It's worth noting that there are actually 30 lanterns and candles throughout the entire campaign, but only 20 need to be lit with the lighter for the Light Up Your Life achievement. Like gnomes and statues, you don't need to get all 20 lights in the same playthrough, and the game will keep track of which lanterns and candles you light. It just doesn't tell you, unfortunately. So, as long as you light 20 unique lanterns or candles across all of your playthroughs, you'll get this achievement. Now let's talk about some of the more miscellaneous ones. You'll get the Elusive achievement for evading capture from any of the humanoid enemies after they spot you and try to grab you. You'll also get the Highly Sprung achievement for jumping on any bed 6 times. This is easiest to do in Chapter 1, but there are plenty of opportunities throughout the game. The next 2 are specific to certain chapters. Six's song is obtained in Chapter 2 during the section where you have to jump onto a piano hanging from the ceiling. When you're on this piano, just run across the piano keys back and forth until the achievement pops. The other is Kitchen Hand, which is obtained in Chapter 3. In the first area of the kitchen where you run into the chefs, there will be a large pot that is cooking in the back of this area. You'll need to look around the kitchen for 3 ingredients to toss into the pot. It doesn't matter what they are. After throwing them in the pot, you'll get that achievement. The 13th and final main campaign achievement is the speed run, which I mentioned previously needs to be completed in under an hour without dying. This is quite doable, as the game can be completed fairly easily in around 50 minutes if you are familiar with the level layouts. The more difficult aspect is the not dying part, as it is very easy to die to one of the monsters that is trying to kill you. If you'd like, you can use Chapter Select to practice these parts and see what the best strategy for getting past them is, or follow along with an in-depth walkthrough, since pausing the game also pauses the speedrun timer. Once successfully completing the speedrun without dying, you will earn the Hard to the Core achievement. Moving on to Secrets of the Maw, this time everything can be completed in one playthrough, since we don't have a speedrun to worry about. You'll get 3 more unmissable story achievements for completing the 3 DLC chapters, as well as another 3 achievements for finding and opening 5 Flotsam bottles in each chapter. Like the gnomes and geisha statues, these collectibles can be tracked in the Chapter Select menu and must be actually interacted with to be counted as having been collected. The last 3 achievements require you to do something specific in each chapter of the DLC. In Chapter 1, The Depths, there will be a room with a bowl/toilet in it, I'm not really sure what it is, and a wrapped head to pick up in the right side of this room. Before leaving this room, toss this head into the toilet bowl and you'll get the Fun and Games Ahead achievement. Straightforward and easy. In Chapter 2, The Hideaway, when you enter the janitor's workshop, there will be a wooden statue of a gnome on his desk. You will need to bring this wooden statue back to the central furnace area and toss it into the furnace. This will give you the Ashes and the Maw achievement. Basically, you'll just have to carry this wooden statue with you as you progress through this section of the chapter, which is going to take some time. It's not hard, but definitely tedious, and if you die, the statue will go back to where you first picked it up. If you want, you can progress far enough so that the path from the statue to the furnace is clear, then attempt to bring it from the workshop to the furnace. Finally, in Chapter 3, The Residence, there is a secret room that can be accessed to the left of the starting area by placing a book with a mask on its spine onto a bookshelf. You can find this book in the library area with other similar books that you can pick up. Go into the secret room and push the giant urn with an eyeball painted on it off of the table in this room to unlock the final achievement, Ashes to Ashes. The only thing I have to say about this achievement is that it is unclear how far you have to progress through this chapter to be able to do it. So if you want to be safe, you can attempt this achievement right before moving on to the final sequence. This section will be short for today's episode, mainly because there aren't any concrete bugs when it comes to unlocking achievements. However, for the original Little Nightmares, not the Enhanced Edition, there are several reports of players' achievements not unlocking properly across all platforms, usually ones tied to getting every type of collectible. Some say that the achievement unlock was just late, others say that they would never unlock for them at all. If this happens to you, it might be possible to fix it by doing another playthrough and getting every collectible at once, as Chapter Select could be the culprit. You could also try uninstalling and reinstalling the game, or even completely wiping your local or cloud save data and trying again from scratch. There's no definitive fix, so just be wary and take this all with a grain of salt if you are playing the original Little Nightmares. As far as I can tell, the Enhanced Edition has no problems with achievements not unlocking properly, and that was the case for my personal experience playing the Enhanced Edition on Steam. So I would recommend just playing the Enhanced Edition if you don't want to deal with the potential issues. All in all, getting everything in Little Nightmares is quite straightforward, which resulted in a shorter episode for today. I wouldn't typically make a video on a game like this, but I figured that there were enough interesting things to talk about or mention to fill up a shorter video. I recently completed the game Cocoon, where the only achievements are story related or for getting all of the collectibles. That's more akin to a situation where I probably wouldn't make a video. My goal with this series is not to be a super extremely in-depth guide to unlocking everything, but more of a roadmap to help you all avoid any pitfalls that may exist, and to be as efficient as possible on your completion journey. Since Little Nightmares had a bit more than just beat the game and get all of the collectibles, I thought it was worthy of a video. Let me know if you would like to see the rest of the games in this series for future episodes. I had a blast getting to play Little Nightmares, and for the most part, it was a pleasant completion experience. Thank you for watching this episode of How to Complete. Let me know in the comments if any of you have had a hard time getting any of the achievements, or if you have any other tips and tricks that I didn't go over in the video. Be on the lookout for future episodes, and if you want to see what I'm currently playing, follow me on Twitch at ZorfioTTV. It'll give you a hint as to what games get covered in the future. I'm trying my best to hit 100 followers on Twitch before my 1-year streaming anniversary, and it would be awesome and very appreciated if I could hit that goal. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next episode of How to Complete.